The Arizona Supreme Court's decision to allow enforcement of an 1864 law that bans nearly all abortions has state lawmakers working to figure out how next to address what Democrats and some Republicans call an archaic law. Joining us now is Republican David Cook, who represents Globe in the State House of Representatives. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
You betcha. Let's just start with your thought. Should this law be repealed?
Well, I think that's where we're at now, and what I've done is try to get all of the facts together, because this is not what we've been focused on. We've been focused on bills and the process, and now we've just been given this. We've been waiting for a long time for the court to rule. Now the court has ruled. What I wanted to do is make informed decisions. So if we can say it's an 1864 law, that's true. Archaic, I don't agree with it, right? But it was reaffirmed in the 1970s by the Democrat-controlled Senate.
The late 70s.
As well,
yes.
Yeah, late 70s. So it's not that it's that far. They came back and said, okay, we want to reaffirm that this is the law of the land at the time, well before my time. What I don't like is I don't like it. I'm not happy with the 22 law that we also put in place after that, and I'm definitely not happy with the ballot initiative in which the Democrats are trying to put forward today. So if I had my way and was the kingmaker, then I would wrap it all up and fix all of the problems in one time. And I think that's where I'm personally at as a Republican. And we're now trying to get together as a caucus and see what kind of solutions we can come up with.
The 2022 law expressly said that this does not get rid of the old pre-territorial law. Was that a mistake?
I think that could be a mistake as we waited on that. But what I think is it's still going to get challenged in court. It's still going to be months and months of challenges and things that would be done. But I want to go back to what I want to say is wrong with all of them, right? So the life of the mother, absolutely a given, right? But as a Republican, a lifelong Republican, they also need to include the heinous victim. The victims of the crimes of rape and incest are forgotten there. They need to be included in all of that, right? I mean, it's horrific. I don't even like to think about that, but we need to look out for those people as well, because it is a fact of society.
Okay, but as far as repealing now the old law, which the court affirmed, and again, we got 7 days now to have some constitutional challenges, et cetera, et cetera. Are there enough votes, do you think, right now for a repeal?
No, there's not. And I'll go back to getting the facts put together.
What facts do you want to see? What facts are out there that you want to know
Well, the
about?
first thing I asked for is a legal briefing of if we do, right? First of all, what they were asking for is to take a bill that had never had a hearing in a committee. And I promise you that the majority, if not all of the members on the floor, except the bill sponsor or one or two more, had even read the bill. So what they tried to do on the floor procedurally was waive all the rules of the House and take a bill that never even had a hearing and stick it up on the board for a vote. That means it would not have gone through a process of a hearing, would not have the ability for amendments, and also wouldn't have gone through the rules attorney to find out if it's constitutional or not. That's the way the process is set up, and it's set up that way for a very good reason. The next step is, let's say we did pass that repeal bill. Two things to ask. What is the current law in Arizona? What does that entail if we repeal it? Is there an abortion law? That's a good question to ask, because then we might not have any. But also, down the road is, where's the Senate? Does the Senate have the votes to pass it? Do they have the same questions? Would it go through the regular order in the Senate then? Would it go from the House to the Senate to a committee? Or would it just go to the board there as well?
Well, or would it go nowhere? Like,
yes.
Apparently the bill, there was 3 different committees it wasn't heard. I think it was introduced in January, something to the effect would get rid of this thing. It wasn't heard. Why wasn't it even heard?
Well, that's up to the chairman's prerogative. And I believe it was assigned to the Health and Human Services Committee, and that was the chairman's prerogative. That's what it means when you're the chairman, is you decide what bills get hearings or not. So today, what I asked for last week was, through all of this stuff, on the floor, the vote I took was whether to recess and adjourn or not, because we need to address this. Republicans need to get together and we need to come up with a plan. And today I'm happy with where we're headed. I think that we'll have more information to release on Wednesday. And the leadership is now getting together with the House and the Senate, and we are putting something together to bring forward.
Are you putting something together to refer to the ballot and let voters decide?
That's one of the options, yes. Yes.
Why would that be an option? We'll likely see something. I mean, the signatures still have to be affirmed, but we'll likely see something regarding abortion rights. what would something that the state legislature comes up, how would that be different?
Well, something that we would come up with is not what they're going to put forward on the other side of the aisle, right? What we would come up, then you're giving the voters of Arizona a choice, right? So just to have one choice in which they were going to put forward, or we could possibly put another choice in front of the voters that say the limitations that include, like for instance, the ballot measure they're talking about, does it include the life of the mother in cases of rape or incest? Is there a week-long ban? And that's a discussion we need to do as a group, is say, okay, if we take these three things and we stick them on a side and we all agree on that, then we come down to the weeks where we have members of our party that 1 week is too much, 15 weeks people in our party that could live with, and so have other states. And then we have some people that on the other side that want to go to 25 weeks. We have to find the middle ground, and I think Arizonans deserve us to do that.
With that said, what happens Wednesday when you guys get back together?
We are mapping that out now. We're going to take care of the normal order of business. We're going to take care. We still have bills in the budget to work on for the state of Arizona. This issue is not as pressing as it is because, like you just said, there's 14 days left before it would become enacted. Whether it's constitutional or not, the governor's executive order has never been challenged by a county attorney that states they can't prosecute somebody, and now you have the attorney general saying the same thing. So if we just look at that alone, we're not in jeopardy at this point, neither are doctors.
So when I ask what happens Wednesday, last question here real quickly, what happens if nothing happens Wednesday?
Well, I assure you that the public may not see anything happening on the floor with our normal order of business, or maybe they'll see something that goes on Wednesday. But what I do believe is that we will continue to work like we have for hours today, right? I reviewed the legal brief that I was given that they worked on over the weekend this morning. I sent it to Legislative Council and I asked for them to concur with the findings of our House attorney. That's how we know that we're on solid ground of, based on what we were just given, where are we at legally?
So the wheels are moving.
The wheels are moving.
All right, Representative David Cook, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.